Guys, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I have a lot of new faces since the last time that I made a video, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. And for everyone, welcome to my new filming setup. It's almost like I should be welcoming myself back to the channel. It's been literally forever since I sat down to film a video. I think the last time we connected was in March of 2020 when I had gone to the Travel and Adventure Show in Atlanta. Spent that whole video talking about all the places I was going to go, all the cruise lines I was going to try. Ugh. Speaking of the past couple of years, I just wanted to start out by giving you guys a quick little update. I just didn't want to dive into new content without at least sitting down for just a quick little chat. If you want to skip ahead to the cruise planner section, which I'm sure is why most of you are here, then you can skip ahead to this timestamp. And also, if you are uncomfortable talking about or hearing about loss or the things that have been going on in the world, then you're also going to want to skip ahead to this section. First off, I wanted to acknowledge that these past few years have been hard on all of us, and I'm not saying my situation is any different. My heart really goes out to any of you that have lost loved ones or experienced any type of hardships through all of this. Like I said, I just wanted to sit down before I jumped into new content and quickly just give you guys a little life update, just chat, touch base, see how things are going. I can't express into words how crappy this has been for me and my family. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that prior to 2020, my dad was already really sick. So then when the pandemic started, it just exacerbated an already strained situation. There was a point in the beginning where we couldn't see him. And then when you kind of could, you felt uncomfortable, but you knew it was your last chance. So you had to weigh the risk of not ever seeing him again with the possibility of getting him sick. And then when he went into the hospital more regularly, there was a lot of confusion. They couldn't have visitors. No one could go with him. And then ultimately, when he passed away, you couldn't have a proper funeral until much later. So we were forced with like a long drawn out grieving process. And then more recently, we lost my brother-in-law very unexpectedly. He was very young. And then in the past month, my grandmother also passed away. And so it just became a long line of people that we hadn't really been able to spend very much time with because of you don't want to spread that to people outside your household, especially people that live far away or who are compromised. So needless to say, YouTube took a backseat to real life. When the pandemic started, I had planned on just trucking along, just continuing to make videos like a lot of other people did, just about just generic cruising content. And then when it just never really felt respectful or responsible. Then when cruising started back, I never got to that point where I felt like I could jump on a cruise ship and just have fun and just bring you guys the content that I thought that I wanted on this channel. And now here we are 2-ish years later, and the landscape of travel is constantly changing. We had a cruise planned, we probably would be on it right now, that left out of Southampton. That cruise wasn't officially canceled by Princess, but it wasn't a cruise I felt comfortable going on. So we're going on the Harmony of the Seas out of Port Canaveral because we can drive there. And I'm probably going to have a lot of fun. It's just that initial push to just start back, you know? And we, like probably a lot of you, had a lot of cruises canceled during the shutdown. We had a bucket list cruise canceled, one of those like land, sea to Alaska and Denali, but the only thing you can do is push forward and plan more cruises, right? So we're leaving on Sunday, like I said, and I'm looking forward to it. To those of you that skipped ahead, first off, I want to say thank you so much for sticking with me during the shutdown. I know that cruising has been back in full swing for a while now, and I've been wanting to get out there, but like I said before, it just never felt right, especially after 2 vaccine shots, a booster, and I still got sick. I never wanted to be the reason, push someone to go on a cruise with me, and be the reason they got sick, or be the reason that if I got sick, my whole traveling party was sent home. You know, that's just not something I felt comfortable with. However, the time has come. We board Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas on Sunday, and I'm pretty excited. It's been almost 7 years since I've been on Royal Caribbean, and it's my first Oasis class ship. We're super excited. Now, on to my other big announcement. For the past few years, I've been sharing with you guys all of my packing videos and bringing you along for some of my pre-cruise rituals. I will link up here, maybe, and in the description box below, a playlist if you want to check out some of my other packing videos from my other cruises. And also on my blog, all of the lists that I used have been available for download. During the shutdown when we weren't traveling, I was trying to sit down and kind of streamline my process for packing and organizing and planning all of my travels. And I was looking for a more hard copy version of something I could use rather than taking those lists from my blog and downloading them every time. Because y'all, when I started traveling way back when, even as late as 2016, I was using a 3-ring binder and printing out an entire planner for each travel or each cruise that we went on. And that was a little extra. As much as I looked, I couldn't really find anything that I looked on Etsy and then other people's blogs, and I just couldn't find anything that had everything that I needed in it. So I made my own. So far, I have 2 planners created. One is just a generic cruise planner for any cruise, and then I have one that is specific to Alaska travel, which I will be using in the fall because we're headed to Alaska this year. I also have a travel journal that is just blank aligned travel pages. Let me see if there's some in here. Yeah. It will look like this on the inside, and then I will put up right here a picture of what it looks like on the outside. So like I said, that is just a blank travel journal, which has 160 lined notebook pages in it. And that is for travel journaling for yourself. Those are the 3 books I have so far. I have a 4th book in the works right now, and it is more like I don't want to give too much away. So it is, let's just say it's a travel journal. And then I'm going to hope to have more books in the future. I'm just trying to think of new ideas. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but let's start going through the books that I have right now. So the first one we're going to start with is just the regular cruise travel planner. So this is the front cover, and it says Cruise Travel Planner. On the back it says Enjoy Every Moment. When you open it up, it says this cruise planner belongs to, and you can write your name or your family's name there. Then I always have this in the front of all my books, questions, comments, and suggestions. You can write me anywhere on social media where Jenny, or you can send me a message through my website. Let me try to get it better in frame. There we go. All right, so this is the first page. It's the itinerary overview for your cruise. It's where you enter the cruise line, the ship name, your departure date and time, your length of cruise, and your cabin number. And then this is day, port name, time in port, and more importantly, all aboard, and then any excursions or activities you had planned. So you have this book while you're on your cruise. You can look at this page for every day, and you know at a glance where you are, what day it is, what's your all aboard time, and what you have planned for each day. On the next page is where we're counting down to our cruise, date of departure, and then we can count down the weeks to our cruise. Next is the cruise vacation travel budget. So budget expenses, sorry, and then an expense tracker of all of the things that you have bought on the cruise and before the cruise. Probably you'd mostly use this for on the cruise unless you ordered like through the pre-cruise travel planner. If you ordered like internet or shore excursions or dining packages or drink packages, you could add that to this. But you know, like it's so those onboard expenses don't get away from you. This is the pre-travel checklist and planner. This is my pre-travel checklist and planner, but I wanted you, so I was like, for example, we leave on Friday for our trip to on the Harmony of the Seas. So I would have used this pre-travel checklist to plan out this week and to say, okay, these are the things I need to get done. These are the things that I know I need to get done. And then there's handy little part right here for you to add more. And then what day am I going to do those things on? So I don't get too gummed up with running out of time or getting to Friday or Thursday and having everything to do on my checklist. This is pre-travel things to do. This is where you'd add any of your own travel things. And then the pre-travel shopping list. So if you get to a point and you're packing and you realize, oh, I need shampoo or toothpaste, then you could write it on here just to make sure that you have those items. And then sprinkled throughout are just my own little cruise tips. Next, we get into my essential cruise packing list. Now, this is the same packing list that's been on my website for years. All I did was I made it a little more gender neutral. So it didn't have, like previously it had a section for my makeup and my toiletries and my clothing, and then my husband's clothing and his toiletries. And I've just added it all, consolidated it, streamlined it to just these pages. And this one, because of course you need stuff on the plane and your travel documents. And there's another handy little set of tips. So this is just an easy way to look at it and say, these are the things I need. Do I have these things? And if you need extras, here's a section to write it. Then the next page is your pre-cruise travel arrangements. So your flight, your hotel, transfers to and from the hotel and the port, because those are also important. And then here are your reservations at a glance. So if you have any shore excursions already booked, if you have any dining reservations or any other reservations, like show reservations. I know for Norwegian, we were allowed to book our shows prior, but with Royal Caribbean, we're not allowed to do that till we get on board. So if you have any other things that you've already made reservations for, you can add them there. Then we get into the cruise vacation daily planners. So it has the date, the port, main dining room dress code, the weather for that port, any activities and excursions that you have for that day. Can't miss events and any reservations you have. And there's enough of these pages for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-day cruise. So if you're going on a 14-day cruise, you'll have to add more pages. But for most of us with our 7 or 8-day cruises, then this is plenty for each day. And it just sort of helps you get organized for each day. You know what you're doing, anything you want to make sure that you attend, like your favorite trivia or anything like that. Then we're getting toward the end of our cruise and we're going to start brainstorming on our next great adventure. So we're going to talk about the ships we want to go on, maybe places we want to see, things we want to eat. And this is also helpful if you are thinking about booking a cruise on board, or if you're thinking about, or if you get on Norwegian and you want to do the new cruise next deposits and you want to say, well, are these things that I want to do? Are there more Norwegian ships I want to go on? You say, yeah, I've already got these in my brainstorming session. So it helps you out in that way. Then you have all of that again. And there's going to be enough in here for, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's enough, one book is enough for 4 cruises. And then at the end, it's just note pages. So if you want to make notes, if you want a travel journal, it's all here and available with just blank lined pages. And then that is the first book. Next, let's look at the My Alaskan Cruise Travel Planner. This one says My Alaskan Cruise Travel Planner on the front, and then the scene continues with the eagles and the mountains onto the back. The first page is like in the other book. It says this Alaskan Cruise Planner belongs to. Then it has the same questions, comments, and suggestions and places where you can contact me. Then it has the same cruise vacation itinerary overview for like a one-stop shopping page where you can see all of your plans. It's got that same
countdown page, except on the other page, in the other book, sorry, I think it said it had a picture of a little drink with an umbrella here, and this one has a moose. We have that same budget page that was in the other book. And then the cruise planner, that's just generic cruise planning, it had enough pages for 4 trips, for 4 cruises. But I didn't want to do that in this book because how often do we go to Alaska? Unless you're one of those lucky people that goes like every year, then kudos to you, and I'm jealous. But most of us will go once in a while. So I had some more pages to play with. So I wanted to put in a few fun things. There's more fun things at the end. We'll go over those when we get there. So the first thing is a map of the Inside Passage, and I wanted to make sure it had a lot of the places that you'll see when you're on your cruise. Next, we have the same pre-travel checklist and planner with some suggestions and then places to add the things that you need to do. We have that same pre-travel shopping list, and I wanted to note that all of the tips in this book, some of them are just generic cruising tips, but some of them are actually, most of them are specific to Alaska. So next we have the Alaskan cruise packing list. Now this is the same packing list that's been on my website, but I've changed it up a little, made it more gender neutral, streamlined it a little bit. So, and this is specific to Alaska, so that will help. More pages that I could play with, so I added a couple of little cute graphics. And this is the last of the packing list. And then we have that same pre-cruise travel arrangements, which is flight, hotel, transfers. Another cute Let's Get Lost graphic. And then here is that same reservations at a glance. And then here's another map. It is some of Alaska's most popular spots and the national parks. So the gray areas are national parks, like this is Denali, this is Glacier Bay down here. And then we have some of the more popular ports, and then places inland, Talkeetna, Fairbanks, Denali, like places you would see if you went on the land and sea portion of any of the cruises. Now for the cruise vacation daily planner, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 daily planner days, because I know some Alaskan cruises are 14 days long, and then if you do the land and sea, you have at least 10 days. So I wanted you to have more days of the cruise vacation daily planner in case you were on one of those longer cruises or one of those combo cruises. And now we have the same brainstorm your next great adventure. I also wanted to mention that this is helpful if you have a traveling party that you don't see very often. Maybe you don't live close and you get together to travel like we did. And so you could sit down over a cup of coffee while you're watching glaciers go by and just brainstorm with those people. So you would all be on the same page about where you wanted to go next, or what you wanted to see, or things you want to eat. And now here's where the travel journal aspect of it all comes in. So it says, today we are docked in, and you have a date and a place and first impressions of Alaska, favorite moment of the day. Is there a food you tried for the first time? Did you love it or hate it? Describe how you felt the moment you entered the Inside Passage for the first time. And then date, I'm grateful, and then you write in the date, today I'm grateful for, and tomorrow I'm excited to experience. So you can be grateful for today, but excited for tomorrow. Next page says, Alaska has such beautiful scenery. Sketch the most amazing thing you saw today. Even if it's just mountains and an eagle, like, it's a great way to remember exactly what you saw. Or if you want to use this as actual like a scrapbook, you could take a picture and print it off and stick it in here. The next thing is a date, favorite port I saw so far, favorite excursion, favorite thing I ate, and favorite people I met. I'm going to tell you right now, favorite excursion is the full train up to, in Skagway, the full White Pass Railroad train up to the top, and to Caribou Crossing to see the puppies, this, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. The sled dog puppies. Oh gosh, so adorable. My favorite excursion so far in Alaska. Next one is today we are docked in. Advice I would love to give myself before my next vacation is, and if I return to this vacation spot, I'm definitely going back to Oh, probably those puppies. Alaska has unpredictable weather. How has the weather been on your cruise? I think it would be interesting to see what everyone would write for this, because I know for our first cruise, we went in the second week of May, and then the second time we went to Alaska, it was the last week of April. And even just that 2-week difference was a very significant difference in the weather that we saw. The end of April was very much winter. Even when we went on the White Pass up to the top, it was completely covered in snow. And then it snowed on us when we were in Glacier Bay. And when we were there in May, it was bordering on spring. It was very pleasant weather. So next time we go, it will be the last week of September, the first part of October. I think we're on one of the last cruises of the season. So I'd be interested to see how people's weather varies depending on what time of year they go. I mean, I know in June or July or August, it can be very warm. So it can be an interesting thing to know. Date, something I packed that I didn't need, something I wish that I had packed, something I learned today, and something I want to bring home. Some of these I know exactly what I would write. Something I wish that I had packed: sunglasses. Oh my God, the sun coming off the snow that first time we went was blinding. I wished I had packed sunglasses. Something I packed that I didn't need: bug repellent. You know, you always hear, oh, mosquitoes in Alaska are giant, and they probably are in the summer, but I've never been to Alaska in the summer, so I packed it and did not need it. Something I wish I had packed also is binoculars. Good binoculars, not ones that kind of help but don't really. And maybe a zoom lens. Probably those are the 3 things I would probably have in mind. The next page says date, where I've been and where I want to go. So that's more of that brainstorming, just looking forward to your next vacation, your next adventure. And then we have a place for new cruise friends. Did you meet somebody on the cruise and they told you their name and address and email, and you lost it and you wish you'd had it written down somewhere? Here you go. 2 pages are for new friends. And then the end of the book is just more note pages. So the same note pages that were in the other book, there's just less of it. And it also helps to make this book a little smaller. You can see kind of how thin it is. And it's easy to like put in, just throw it in your purse, your embarkation day bag. Those are the 2 planners that I've got so far. If you're interested in purchasing one of these planners, the links are in the description box below. And they are also in the description box of all of my old videos, so you can check them out in the links there. I would love to hear your feedback, so especially if you think there are any pages missing that you would like to see added. That's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. The next video you will probably see from me is my packing video for our cruise on the Harmony of the Seas. And then after that, we'll have all my Harmony content, vlogs, room tours, and at this point, anything else I get up to. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would consider subscribing with the notification bell on. I hope you guys have a great day and happy travels. Bye.